All right, we're on. Hey guys, Alf Benny here. Thanks for coming. I got Leica today, the lovely Leica. Civil rights leaders.
So that happened, and there was much rejoicing and happiness.
I'm in the mood to chat, continue drinking, and doing other degenerate behavior.
Let me tell you what I've done to handle the stalker problem. I have liberally, and I liberally use the block button.
I'm Peter Fool!
Good morning, everybody, and it is time for us to chill and watch The Fallen State, featuring the one, the only, Devin Tracy. Atheism is unstoppable. Joined with me today, we have Alfie, we got Dan the Gate, we got Paul, we got me, and we got Jaymee, and Marino may come in and out, and we'll see what happens. Devin has just messaged and said he is online. Call has been established. We are getting ready. Ready.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
Right now.
The antidote.
Uniting
Look
the
at his book.
races
Look at him
with
sitting
truth
there
instead
on
of
his book.
dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jaymee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show.
He
Today, manhood hour is coming up in the third hour. The next hour, rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. The most important
you're a little ahead of
thing
me.
that can happen to you is to rebuild men. If
Rebuilding the
not, goodbye,
family.
America. I will be talking to an expert on
Hell yeah,
dating
hell yeah.
in the third hour today. I am going to get back to your calls in a minute here. I have a guest.
Oh,
My biblical question
we have
for
a
this
guest.
week
Biblical
is,
question.
how do you see women?
How do you see women?
Do you see women? That's my biblical question.
Anyone
Isn't that
got an
amazing?
answer?
Yes, Jesse, that is amazing. I
That's
have
amazing.
with me in this second hour here, Devin.
Oh, you're
Devin
way ahead of me,
Tracy.
Jaymee.
And Devin Tracy is known on YouTube
I just heard How Do You See
as
Women?
Atheism.
Oh
I
shit!
see women
You
as
guys
sexual
need to
objects.
refresh right now. Refresh just in
Atheism
case.
I'm
is unstoppable. Isn't that amazing?
Atheism is unstoppable.
That is
Isn't that
amazing.
amazing? That's
Devin,
amazing.
welcome
Devin.
to the
Oh,
show.
Devin.
Thank you for coming on.
Hey, Jesse, my man. Good to be here. It's an honor. I've been watching your videos. I am a fan, and I appreciate what you do.
Yes.
I think you're a much-needed voice
Well,
on
thank
YouTube.
Yes.
Thank you, Devin. I
Yes.
absolutely
Isn't that
appreciate
amazing?
that. So, Devin, are you
That is
an
amazing.
atheist?
That is fair to say. Yeah, I am an atheist.
And why?
Because I feel it's the correct stance, but it's not something I actively think about. I actually don't talk about
Oh,
atheism
this
much
is
anymore.
already great.
I feel like I've
Yep.
gotten it off my chest, and
I feel it's the
I feel
correct
like
stance,
we've made
but
our
it's
point.
not something
You know what I'm saying?
I
Like we've
actively
evolved
think
a little
about. I
bit.
actually
And what's the
as
point
atheists.
that you made?
Who am I hearing?
Well,
Alfie.
originally my point was just
Just to
to kind
talk,
of make
Alf.
fun
Oh.
of religious people and just state for the record that I thought it was all bogus and I thought it
What's
wasn't
going
real,
on?
which is I feel kind of an
Gangle, we're
important distinction.
recording while
Right.
we watch this. So
And
You
so,
guys base your life around it, so
I'll be
so
quiet
let me go
then.
back to
No,
the
you can
and
comment,
why
it's
do
fine.
why are you an atheist?
I'm an atheist because I don't believe in things that aren't true.
And what's not true that you don't believe in?
I love the questioning. I love it. It's all literal. What's not true is that there is no God, and you pick a story, pick any of those old fables. I mean, it's all just that. It's just make believe. And so it's time that we grow up as a species and stop living in fear and stop telling lies to ourselves. I thought you were about the truth, Jesse.
And how do
You're
you
true.
how do you know that there is no God?
Oh,
It's not about
shit.
knowing. It's
Devin,
about
there's no
how
God.
do I know that your argument that there is a God is not good? And I know that because I use reasoning, and you guys don't have much evidence. So it's kind of an embarrassing assertion that you would claim that there's a invisible creature in the sky.
No,
And
but you
it's just-
said you know that there is no God. How do you know that?
Oh, I know it because as well as I could know anything. So I'm 99.9% sure.
But
If during
what-
this interview you provide evidence, I'll say,
Damn.
What is your
Damn.
evidence that there is no God?
now we're into proving a negative. So it's not my burden to tell you there is no
Atheism
God. Evidence
is
your
unstoppable.
claim, so you have to show me why I
But-
should believe.
But it
And
is
you
your
have faith.
burden to prove that there is no God. You said
Why
you
is that?
know there is no God, and what is your evidence that there is no God? What's your evidence of that?
My evidence that there is no God is your complete and total lack of evidence that there is a God.
Amazing. And
Amazing.
Did you,
See, David's laughing every time he says it.
believe that there was a God?
Oh,
No,
shit.
I was one of those that didn't get indoctrinated, so it was kind of an easy slide. I mean, it was, and I thank my parents for that because they,
No, go ahead. Because what?
no,
Amazing.
because,
Amazing.
a lot of people they don't get that head start. They get told what to believe, and then they have to sort of question. Wait a minute, am I just believing it because my parents told me, or is this what I actually think? So I got to avoid all that, which is nice.
So you were raised by your father and mother?
Yeah, I got a stepmother somewhere along the way there, but yeah, I had a father in my life, which is a big thing, which is something I know you talk about quite often.
Yeah. Were you raised by your father and mother?
Yeah, I was. My father was around, and he played an instrumental role in my upbringing.
Was he in the home with you?
He was most of the time, actually. Yeah, he had
But
a
what-
job that'll.
What do you
allowed that.
mean that you had a stepmother at some point?
My actual mother died when I was 5, and so he remarried, and I got a couple stepsisters and a new mom.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. But
I'm all right.
so you were not raised by your father and mother. You're raised by your father and a stepmother.
Correct.
And how did you feel about your stepmother?
Oh, boy, that's a can of worms. She is very religious. So, I tried to get along well, but it was never going to be a fit made in heaven. So it was whatever. I kind of went on with my life, and I sort of had my father there, and he was the main driving force.
Right. So your mother died when you were 5. You had a stepmother, and you didn't like your stepmother at all.
She wasn't the wicked witch. I mean, it's not like a Disney, stepmother, but no, it was just, she
But-
wasn't family per se, so it's a tough thing. I mean, most people with step parents kind of understand what one goes through.
This is why men and women who have children should not be married. They should not get with another woman,
wasn't a
or a woman
wicked
should not
witch.
get with another man while they have children, because kids do not accept step parents. They yearn their own parents, and not for their own parents, and not some step parents. It's
Yeah.
very selfish when men and women do that.
Well, it's not a secret. I mean, there's many books written
Whoa.
about this. I think
That's
depending on how
weird.
old you are when the new parent comes in, that changes quite a lot. For example, my sister is 5 years older than me, and like a 5, or a 10 and 11-year-old girl getting a new mom, that ain't gonna fly.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that was a tricky one.
And were you close to your father?
Oh yeah, still am. He's a great guy, great man. He comes from a great father, and it's one of those things where you don't really realize how lucky you are until other people point it out and they say, "Damn, I wish I had a relationship like the one you have with your father." And you just get lucky or you don't.
Did you forgive him for marrying this woman?
I fully forgive him.
You told him
Yeah.
that.
I never had any anger towards him, none whatsoever.
I hope they
Yeah.
talk
But
about
did
his
by the way,
he know
African-
how much
his
you
grandfather is
dislike
Oh, yeah.
your Christian stepmother?
Oh, it's on record. She was more than Christian, though. I mean, it was more into like, woo-woo and New Age and Scientology and little Christianity. I mean, it was just everything. And it didn't really bother me. I mean, I tried to move on with my own life. There's more. Life is too short to be worried about negative relationships or just things that aren't perfectly harmonious. So I was out dating girls and playing sports and, doing other stuff.
Could that explain why you rejected God? Because she was it sounded as though she was a terrible example of that.
No, I don't think I ever thought of a need to reject it. It was never an option. It was just, I don't know, maybe, do you agree that it's important to believe in things that are true? Is that a principle of yours?
Well, if you really want a peaceful life, if you
Yeah.
want to be able to see and deal with life properly and overcome the issues, it's important to believe the truth, because when you believe the lie, then life becomes difficult. And because we do live by belief, we live by faith in something, we can't help it. It's best to live by what's right rather than the lie.
Ooh, Jesse,
So are you suggesting
question.
that a belief in God is helpful in one's life, and that's why
He's
we
a
should
very
believe it?
binary
Not that it's
thinker.
actually true.
A belief in God is the truth, and it's the way to go.
Well, I believe that you truly believe in God, but I'm suggesting that it's kind of pointless because he's not real. But like,
And when you define evidence, when you say you need evidence,
Yeah,
there's
who's
no
asking the
evidence,
questions
right?
now?
I know, right?
Define that. What do you mean
Yeah.
by?
Hang on, whose show are we
define
watching?
no
Are we
evidence?
watching Jordan
well,
Lee
I mean,
Peterson?
we
Or are we
can
watching
use
Atheism Is
like a court
Unstoppable?
system, like how a court would view evidence. I'm looking for anything, really, anything more than what you have, which
Oh,
is just
what do you mean
stories
by
written by
evidence?
people you don't even know wrote them. It's just not compelling. And the belief in God is an extraordinary
What do you
claim.
mean
All
by
And
questions.
there's not even
define no
shred of evidence for
evidence?
it.
So let me just ask this, and then I want to move on. I have so much
Yeah.
I want to ask you about this.
Okay.
So it sounds like your stepmother was a bad example of a person who believes in God. Do you think, has she
Very
been
Carl
an
Sagan.
example of what she preached? Has she been a living
Sagan.
example of it? You might see this thing differently.
No, I see you're going with that angle, but there was more to my life than just my stepmother. I mean, I was raised in the 80s in LA, and there was a lot of God talk everywhere. I went to a youth group. I was in the Boy Scouts. You know, we used to have religion in the Boy Scouts. I think they're taking it out now, but back then it was there, and none of it impressed me. I got to be honest. And this was not even a hard decision. It was just a no-go from the start. So I haven't been grappling with this. I'm not rejecting God. I just don't think it's real. So I just moved on.
I understand. So where do you get your values from?
Well, partly the Boy Scouts, actually. But it's my society, my parents, and
But
my intuition.
it sounds like your mother was no good. Your stepmother was no good.
No,
So
no.
if what you said about her, she had
we
no
go.
values.
No,
So maybe that's why you're like that.
Oh shit! Where do you
No,
get
no,
your
I do have
values
values.
from?
She's a fine woman. It's just, our relationship was a little bit frayed. That's all. But values, there's tons of atheists that have values, and you know this. So don't try to
Your stepmother's
suggest
no
that
good.
I'm some sort of a hedonistic
No,
Satan
no.
worshiper.
I'm just saying.
why
I'm
you're
just
an
asking,
atheist.
where do you
Yeah, he
get
said
your
that's
why you
values
have no
from?
values.
Well, I don't think I reinvented the wheel. I don't think I got them all from myself, but I am guided by my own personal intuition on what I think is right and wrong.
Amazing.
Amazing.
There are a lot of millennials.
Devin,
who
every time
are,
he says amazing, he just
atheists.
giggles.
And why is atheism so popular among millennials or young people?
I think it's because it's the truth. It's the correct answer on the issue, and more people have more information.
That's amazing.
So access to that information is making it easier to become an atheist.
Amazing. Devin, let me take a
unstoppable.
quick break. 888-775-3773. Very Mamma Mia interesting. Back in a moment, folks.
Okay, I've turned down the volume on this. So, thoughts so far while we're at break?
Jay, you and
Very
Amy
Mamma
should call
Mia
it.
interesting.
Mamma mia. Somebody touching my interest.
Oh shit! So I'm ahead of you guys. So I'm on the break now.
Yeah, I refreshed. Yeah, I'm too.
Yeah, I'm on the break too.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah, I think it was
thoughts-
funny when he said
So
Mamma Mia.
hopefully you guys can catch up on me and you get to the right point. But what are your thoughts so far?
Well, Devin is kind of turning it around on Jesse a little bit.
Right.
Yeah,
Jesse's
he's
still
not,
very
taking, not
atheism
taking
right
any
now.
bait. He's keeping the conversation on track. Yeah.
I'm just blown away. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Did Jesse go to a break because he's so flustered by?
No, I
No,
think he
this
does
is
it
producers
standard.
in his ear.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
okay.
is standard.
Yeah. I'm
I
pretty
thought
sure
maybe his
it is.
producer got in his ear. He's turning it around on you. He's asking you questions. Abort, abort. We're going to commercial.
Bail.
Jesse, do not let him turn the tables.
It's rare you see Jesse actually answer a question that a guest throws out. He just keeps forging ahead, but Devin's got him on the ropes answering
Honestly, with most people, though, the way that he just moves forward is a good thing because a lot of people will try and circularly answer a question, and it just makes for annoying TV. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Most people are not as succinct as Devin is, so he kind of has to just move on and dismiss their answer.
Exactly.
Oh,
and Jesse throws a lot of bait out there too, and Devin's not in any of it.
Devin's in the chat.
Yeah, he
Oh,
is.
nice. Marina.
Yeah, I didn't really get Jesse's answer to Devin's question about do you care about the truth. He kind of waffled a little bit. He says, I care about truth, but he's like, but morality is more important. It sounded like Devin tried to nail him down a little bit, and I don't even remember what happened after that. I mean, he has no good answer to that, so what are you going to do?
Mamma mia, interesting. What a phrase! I gotta incorporate that into my lexicon. Hey guys, what did you think of the conversation? It was Mamma Mia.
Shit, we're back.
It's kind of funny.
Oh, are we?
So I'm talking to Devin.
Why are we
Devin
behind?
Casey.
Refreshed and everything.
He's known on YouTube as
mine's actually weird.
Damn,
Hold on, he's gonna say it.
as Atheism Is
here he is.
Unstoppable.
Oh, he said it!
So Devin, you say
He's
that
on YouTube as
I asked
Atheism
why
is
are so many young
unstoppable.
people into this atheism
talking to
thing,
Devin Tracy.
and you said because there's a lot of information out there nowadays, right?
Well, it's more than information. It's the argument for atheism. So never before in history has it been so eloquently given by guys like Hitchens, Harris, all the new atheists. So all those debates, remember that creation debate?
There's the Patreon
Ken
page.
Ham and what's his name? Bill Nye.
You're still behind him.
Like other young people can see that and then judge for themselves. It's just for the longest time, it was just religion, Christianity, and nothing else. And so atheists felt secluded and they questioned, like, am I the only one who doesn't buy this crap? And now they see, oh, the whole world is caught onto it. The secret's out.
And why have you chosen to believe the people who say that there is no God as opposed to the ones who say that there is a God? Why have you chosen to believe the ones that you believe?
Yeah, but that's just it. I'm not believing what people tell me. I'm telling you there is no God based on my personal assessment of the facts. So you guys have the assertion. It's a positive assertion by you guys that there is a God, and it just didn't convince me. That's basically why I'm an atheist.
I think that it's a horrible mistake to try to convince anyone or prove to anyone that there is a God. Either you believe it or you don't. And it's not up to me as an individual to prove to anyone that there is a God.
Yeah, and
because if I prove it to you, you only believe it because I proved it to you or said it, not because you see it for yourself. So if you don't see it for yourself, you never will have it anyway.
Yeah, you guys have that weird thing where you want people to believe without evidence.
I don't want people to believe.
No, but faith is a huge factor in
I know, but I don't want people to believe.
Okay, but I mean, God could show us evidence if he existed. That could happen, but he doesn't because it's this purity test. And, you got to believe just blindly, and then you're going to be rewarded in heaven.
Well, in all honesty, God doesn't care if you believe or not. Who told you that?
Nobody told me that. I just okay. Well,
he
I like
really
the fact that
does not care if you believe. It's up to you.
Okay.
So he's not bothered by. He and his son, they wake up every morning, and they turn on the big screen TV.
Oh, it's in the Bible. God cares if you believe.
You know, he has his son go in and make a little
black and white there,
and
Jesse.
Sit back and just watch human beings make a fool of
blessed
themselves.
are those who don't see.
But he doesn't care if you believe or not.
Okay, well, we have something in common because it sounds like you don't want people to believe, so you're not trying to convert.
I want them to believe. I want them to believe, but it's not bothering me, or I'm not trying to force them to believe. It's really up to them.
And for me, I'm not spending my life trying to get people to be atheists. I mean, if I make a video and somebody converse, great, so be it. But most Christians don't even faze me. They don't bother me at all. I think they're wrong, but I'm more concerned about the ones that want to kill me. like some of those Muslims out there.
Most atheist activists are leftists.
And the Muslims.
But it also seemed that a growing number of them are not leftists. Why are some leftists and some are not?
Well, I think there's a growing number of people who don't know what side of the aisle they're on, and people are getting a little bit frustrated with the binary nature of the left-right thing. It's just too simplified, and quite frankly, the people on the far left has made any association with the left at all kind of a toxic scenario. So they've embarrassed our entire side, and I think it's time that we split up. I want a divorce. I want a divorce from the guys at TYT, all these guys. I mean, let's get another party. Call them the regressive party and be done with it.
I noticed that all atheists seem to be social justice warriors. Are you a social justice warrior?
No, I positioned quite against that. And I think a lot of that SJW stuff, it's a character type, it's a weakness, but it's also a generational thing. So
Aimee, you're still behind on the SJW bit.
Type of guy. And
yeah,
what I have is just common
that,
sense.
Darling.
See, I don't even think I'm that special.
Behind.
I think in the age of the internet, it's like,
England,
what is that
saying?
In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. In the age of the internet, the man with common sense is king. All you have to do is be smarter than all the dumb people out there, because we got an influx of a massive amount of new dumb voices that don't even deserve to be heard, and yet they're yapping at us.
Where do you get your common sense from?
Father, I mean, just not my father in the sky, my actual father.
Damn.
He sings songs. He's a musician. He sang songs about common sense, and he just infused it in me. And then, of course, just life experience.
And where does your father, earthly father, get his common sense from?
Is it a true story?
It's a good question. He's well-traveled. He's international. He's an Englishman, but he's born in South Africa.
He's an Englishman.
So I think that's a recommendation I would actually have for a lot of the people in America. I know you talk to a lot of
to be
Americans.
Englishman.
Your
You got to get
earthly
outside of
father.
America. There's a lot to be learned from stepping outside yourself.
I
seeing
agree
about the
totally
world,
with
talking
Devin
to
when
new
he says
people,
that
engaging with
everyone in
different
America
lifestyles.
should be an
I think
Englishman.
a lot of common sense can be taken from just
That's what I'm taking from
a
that.
good experience like that.
You say that, you just said you don't want to be killed by Muslims or Muslims.
Yep.
Who killed most, Christians or Muslims?
Well, this is a baited question, because an SJW would tell you, well, it depends on what century you're talking about. But I don't care about diving into history, even though I have a degree in history from UCLA. It's obviously Muslims by a country mile. It's not even close.
Preach it, Devin. Preach it.
They are by far and away the largest threat. And of course, it's not all of them. And I know you sell T-shirts with not all, and so do I.
And amazing.
Amazing.
So, let me ask, my biblical question this week is, how do you see women? How do you see women?
Oh, here we go. How do you see women, Devin?
Oh, what a broad question that is. I think that I see them in a fairly healthy and normal way. I think I see a lot of
Devin's
cloaked
giggle
misogyny
after he
online.
says it.
A lot of Asperger's
amazing.
going on. Are you familiar with that condition?
How do
People
you see
don't know how to
women?
deal
Oh,
with women.
shit.
People are frustrated by them. People have anger, hostility, have been rejected a million times. They want to lash out. And it is kind of gross and disgusting and pathetic. So I have a successful relationship with women my entire life, and I guess it just seems normal to me, but yet I cringe at all these guys that seem to fail on this front.
It wasn't successful with your stepmother.
Well, I wasn't trying to sleep with my stepmother.
What?
But,
So how do you see women?
I see them as glorious vessels of birthing. No, I mean, they're great. I see them as I see men. I don't see too much of a distinction. I view them.
Wow.
You see men when you see women?
Wow.
Bait question.
No, I just view them as people. I don't have a
Wow,
special
Jesse.
way of looking at women that is different than looking at men,
And so
unless
you-
it's sexual.
And so you see women as glorious, what?
Goddesses, I'll say.
Amazing. And
Amazing.
besides the male body parts, what is a man?
Ah, you are fascinated by this question. I'm fascinated by the fact that you're fascinated by that. What is a man? See, I think men have a certain standard they like to try to aspire to. But I think that
The man body
some of these
parts.
things can apply to women. For example, saying, grow some balls, or you don't have the balls to do something. this is not just applicable to men. You could say that to women, but we use the sort of male jargon when we say that. But a man is someone who's strong and confident and who grapples with the challenges of his life. And I say that fully aware that this is something that women can and should do.
Is there a difference between men and women?
Not legally, not morally. There are obvious differences. I'm not sure what you're getting at.
Let me take a quick break. When I come back, I have a couple more questions for you. 888-7753.
Going to the break.
773. Back in a moment.
Right, are you guys at the break? When he says back in a moment and then points his head down, tell me.
Let me take a quick break.
Oh wow, you guys are really behind me.
I need to think some more. I'll be right back.
Right, thank you,
Yeah,
Alf.
pretty much.
Right, okay.
Pretty
I've pressed
much.
played from now, so hopefully we're synced up a bit more.
Hopefully.
Oh my god, has Devin said that's amazing to Jesse yet?
I don't know, but I'm
I
gonna
haven't heard
send him a message right here.
Man, what a great guest he is.
He is. Devin's doing great.
He's putting his arms in the air. Can you guys... Is he at that? Doing that?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
what is he doing?
And now it's gone to a meme, yeah?
You know?
It's gone to memes.
Yeah.
Alright,
Yep.
cool. I think we're synced up now, finally.
I think it called to go on break too early. That's why the camera didn't change and it was on him for a while. And then he was
Yeah,
about to
yeah,
take
yeah.
a second. We'll put him back on before.
There he is.
Yeah, he's a mellow guy. Yeah, he's a chill guy. Yeah.
Even though he tacitly implied his father was selfish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, where was you
And
trying to go with
also-
the stepmom thing? That
And
was
also
so-
asked Devin if that was why he didn't have any values.
Hello. Hey.
Krissy,
We're recording for you.
We're recording right now, just so you know.
Oh, hi.
We're watching Jesse Lee Peterson. You should join us. Here, I'm gonna send you the link.
Yeah, join us.
Oh,
Should we...
Devin, yeah.
any
There it is.
thoughts? Mm-hmm. It's going to start again in a minute. So has anyone got any more thoughts on it so far?
Yeah, I think Jesse keeps bringing up the stepmom because he thinks it's an in to get Devin confrontational or emotional, and he's not taking the bait.
Yeah.
I hope near the end.
It's
Devin
amazing.
goes, that's amazing.
I think he's making a lot of assumptions. That's basically it. That's why he was asking Devin why he didn't have any values.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's amazing how Christians, they think they got you there with well, where do you derive your values from? Because your atheist isn't going to have a lot of really great answers. They're not going to be like, well, Heidegger actually wrote, and John Locke. And
Right.
like most people are going to delve into some intellectual pursuit of how
Yeah.
secular world derives values and implements
No,
them.
you just say
Did you
common.
see that mod? There was a mod who was like, hey, has AIU read Thomas Aquinas like 3 times?
Oh, God.
It's like, oh my god, shut the fuck up.
Why?
so Devin's already been on there. God damn it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
He's
missed
on
the
now.
two breaks so far.
Oh,
We're on
right,
the-
okay.
They're just on a break.
Link is in the chat. Ellen.
Yep.
Yeah, and there's
You
the
have a good
second
sleep, mate.
Oh, I've been having my hair cut.
Oh, I want to see.
Oh.
Yeah, I want to see your haircut once you're done with it. Selfies. I wonder what background talk is happening right now because they're obviously still talking, right?
Yeah. Gotta be still talking.
And now I'm gonna ask you about the fallen state.
Oh.
Get back to the break.
Please. Oh.
All right, folks, welcome back. I want to...
You guys are ahead of me.
Oh, he's
Technical difficulties. He's having an issue
putting his
with
headphones on and off. It's kind of cute. It's
Yeah.
like watching a kid do stuff, you know?
the engineer's fucking up. He came back too early.
All right, folks, welcome back. I want to do one more segment with my guest here, Devin. Devin Tracy.
Devin Tracy.
And I was just told he's in Australia. I didn't know that. So that's very interesting.
Oh yeah, it's the middle of the night. And can I just say how surreal it is to talk to a grown man, and as you're talking, he starts playing, he fades it in, "You are my lady." It's like I'm at the Oscars getting played on.
Amazing.
Yes,
Amazing. Before I get back to my guest, Joya, I have a brand new episode of. I have a brand new episode of The Fallen State coming up on
the brand new episode of The Fallen State.
I have a brand new season of The Fallen State.tv. So I want you to check it out, my TV show, The Fallen State, FALLN.TV. I interview Amber Rose.
Please ask Devin that question.
She is part of the slut movement. She believed that women should not be ashamed to be sluts. Isn't that amazing?
That's amazing.
She's one of the founders of the Slut Walk. Amber Rose. And we have, and so the teaser for the upcoming show this Thursday.
Oh, let's see this teaser.
PM Pacific time.
Amber Rose, really? Oh boy. Oh, it's just a teaser.
Yeah, there's no audio.
Yeah.
Maybe he meant to do that?
I think the engineer's fucking up.
Yeah, he's having a bad day in the studio.
He fucked up before. He went to break too late and then came back too early.
Oh.
And now we're getting no audio.
Yeah.
I doubt he meant to do this.
I thought that Amber Rose chick was bald.
Not anymore, apparently.
That's some fake hair.
Dan, that's called a weave.
The weave.
It was an amazing interview. I truly enjoyed talking to her. I saw a side of her that I think most people haven't seen, and you will see it in this interview. So it's The Fallen State coming up this Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. I want to go quickly back to Devin Tracy. Devin, when I said that I've noticed that atheism, many atheists are social justice warrior, I was referring to the radical activist atheists. They're like the radical activist homosexuals and lesbians. They're very radical. And is that because they don't believe in God?
Nah, I think it's a coincidence. You're just going to get a lot more people who don't believe in God, and then they also have other things about them, but they're not correlated in any significant way. I mean, there's a lot of division within the atheist community. I was one of the people that started to divide them because I saw a bunch of SJWs, and I called them out. And the fact that we're both atheists means nothing to me.
Amazing. And are there things that you disagree with me on?
Oh, a million things, but I agree with you on a ton of stuff too, which is also of note. I would like to commend you for your performance with Cenk Uygur, the Young Turks. I thought it was
Fat
hysterical.
Brown Buffalo.
Oh my God, it was priceless. Jesse, when he, you told him that racism doesn't exist.
Cenk looked like he was going to cry in that
interview. He laughed
interview.
at you and said you were crazy, and then you said, "Wait a minute, I'm telling you this as a guy who used to pick cotton on a plantation under Jim Crow." And he shut up immediately, and he treated you like you were Harriet Tubman herself.
I've known him for a long time. Do you believe that racism exists?
I hear what you're saying with that. I believe that. Here's what I believe. I believe that there is not a commonly understood definition of racism. So I think the word has gotten completely out of control. It's been overused, exaggerated, hyped up. I believe that there's a lot of racism that people will not call out, which is anti-white racism. That is everywhere, not just in South Africa, but here in America, and you're well aware of that.
And so you believe that racism exists?
Oh yeah, in pockets, yeah, as a notion, sure, it's a useful word, but the phenomenon of everything being racist is completely just over the top. We've got to rein that in.
I have proven in my book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. I prove that racism does not exist. It has never existed, and that it was used by the children of the lie in order to put fear in white people and keep blacks angry because to keep blacks angry, brainwashed, dumbed down, and demoralized, because you cannot control a moral people or a moral person. You have to demoralize them in order to control them. And blacks are suffering due to the lack of family, the destruction of the family and the lack of moral character. And so this is a moral issue. It's a right and wrong issue, and it has nothing to do with being a male or a female. Do you agree with that?
I think you have a point in there. I think you're being provocative by saying racism doesn't exist. That a lot of people are going to throw up a brick wall with that. But
we need to know the truth, because if we don't speak the truth about the situation, we can never get it right. We can't correct it. And we gave black people a black president thinking that, well, I didn't think it was going to help them, but white folks thought it was going to help them realize that white people are not against them, and the blacks got worse rather than getting better, and the races are more divided under the
Aimee,
Messiah Barack Obama.
why don't you read these comments out? These comments you got on the chat are brilliant.
Well, I think we're on a historical path that doesn't have to do with
your
faith
is
worse
for the
and
mentally
worse
deficient.
Since, I mean, geez, I go back to the LA riots. I go back to
there's some
OJ.
spurging
We're not over
there.
that stuff.
Love it.
Go back to the Watts riots. Keep going back.
Is for the mentally deficient. Faith
but
is
the one
for
thing
the
I would
mentally
say
deficient.
on race in America is that we don't have a problem with white supremacy and just racism of whites to blacks. What we have is
This guy's like
inferiority complex
atheists
from
always
black
return
people.
to God, little
And that's
girl.
the real
and I'm
heart
like,
of the issue. We don't spend our days and nights thinking about y'all.
Yeah.
And like trying to
I tried
oppress
to
you.
tell them that.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the difference. I say it as a white man, I get called a racist. You say it as a black man, you get called a variety of other different names.
Uncle Tom, the N-word.
Common ground here.
I've noticed that
a lot of
the
common
white, straight, conservative, Christian man of power, and white people overall, especially white men, are the most
Atheism is
hated
for fence
creatures
riders.
on this side of
I don't
heaven.
think you know what atheism
Why is
means,
that?
bro.
I would say
that's weird. That's a weird.
I've got to say, people are just bitter. They're just hating.
Yeah.
I mean, what else could it possibly be?
Why don't
Come in my
white people
bedroom,
stand
you'll
up?
be
Then
praying
why
to
do
him
they
for
go
hours.
along
Get the
with this
fuck
rather
outta
than
here,
speaking
bitch.
up?
Well, I think there's a few reasons for
That's
that.
not a very
The
Christian thing
social
to say.
cost, the cost
I'm
benefit.
gonna say
I mean,
that.
Why would they do this? First of all, their wives probably aren't on board with this, and happy wife, happy life. Second of all, their money is at
There's
stake.
not one man with a happy wife and a happy life. That doesn't go together.
Are you divorced, Jesse?
No.
Are you divorced, Jesse?
I have one more question for you.
Jesse likes him.
Let me take a short break. Can you hold for
got
one more
another
question?
You know I will.
All right, let me take a quick break. I'll come back and then I'll take some
Dad.
calls. Back in a moment.
You know I will.
So, thoughts on that segment? We're at a break.
It's a great conversation.
Oh, there's no sound right now.
I
Oh, he is
think-
singing karaoke. Oh, he is singing karaoke.
Oh shit!
I think he likes Devin, because that was supposed to be the last segment, and he said, "Can you stick around for one more question?" So I think he likes him and wants to talk to him a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm hoping
This
it's
is
the
going
fallen.
very well.
I'm hoping it's the fallen state question.
Devin is
If you
great to
think
talk
of, like-
to, though. No surprise.
Yeah.
Oh,
he
yeah,
really
yeah,
And
is.
yes.
the only other atheist I could think of that he had on there that was like to talk about like atheism and stuff was Jacqueline Glenn. So I mean, the comparison shows, like Devin's so much smarter than she is. He's having a better time talking to her.
Apparently, there's a
So
poll going
fluid.
by one of the mods. Press 1 if you like the guest.
Oh, is there?
Oh,
Let's
that's
see
what
this.
it is.
Yeah.
Fucking just a steady stream of ones and scum fucks.
I'm hoping.
They changed
hoping
it. Press 1 if you love the Great White Hope.
Oh, no, it's-
Great
Um,
White Hope, Devin.
I'm kind of hoping Jesse does like him and will invite him to come on the show when Devin's like in LA and stuff, or traveling around in the US.
Oh yeah.
Maybe he'll get to go on and be one of the guests for the show. Where they sit down on the chairs and talk.
That would be amazing.
Amazing.
So, Aimee, did someone in the chat say that you said you should come back to the show?
Yeah,
to Devin?
I put it in our Discord here.
Yeah, just seen it. That's what I was asking.
Devin
it's
is
a
a
good
nice
conversation.
guest. He should come back on.
Yeah, there you go.
Ah, nice.
That mod's probably one of the engineers. Or
Yeah.
probably make those decisions. Jesse seems to like it too. He's laughing. He's making jokes too. He made a joke
they're
about
having a good
the
time.
thing, being married and having a happy life. You know, like and he laughed about it. So yeah, he's having a good time.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't get to Trump at all.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it is surprising. Maybe that is the last question. He said he had one more question for him. Yeah.
Oh,
That
I
might
hope.
be it.
So what we said, I'm going with. I really want the. Are we living in a fallen state question? I really do. I'm obsessed with it. So
that might be it. That might be it.
So what are you guys
I
saying?
kind of don't
Alfie?
want them to go into Trump.
All right, Alfie.
I
What
kinda
question
don't
do you
want
want?
them to go into Trump.
What question do you want it to be? Let's take a quick run before it goes back on. What do you think it's going to be?
I'm good with everything they talked about. I just don't want them to talk about Trump.
Okay, so
I
you
wanted
don't
to
want
talk
it to be
them to talk
Trump.
about blacks.
Oh, you want it
Yeah,
to be
they
blacks
did a little
again?
bit, but I think they both mostly agree, so it's kind of a useless thing. You know?
All right, Dan. What about you? Thoughts? What question?
I don't think they're going to talk about Trump, but that's the only thing I want to hear right now.
Okay, so you
and
want
Dan
to
are
hear
opposite.
Trump, so you're opposite to Alfie. Okay, Krissy, any thought? Question?
I'm
alright.
No, not really. I think you
Yeah.
covered them.
Yeah, I'm alright.
Leave me alone. I can't
No.
do it.
I just want to know if you think you know what the question's going to be.
Chris, I just saw what you wrote. I think it might be about Trump or it might be about blacks. That's the only two really big things left, aren't they?
Yeah.
It'd be funny
Oh,
if you
we're about to find out.
your stepmom.
Yeah, the engineer keeps coming back too early. Look, he's talking to him. Like, yeah, he keeps coming back
There's
too
no
early.
sound, Jesse. Come on.
Yeah, because they're not really back yet. That's why I said the engineer keeps coming back too soon.
Is Jesse Lee gonna have to slap an engineer?
Are we going to see it?
Jesse's comment from earlier is that my engineer is black.
Did Jess?
Marino, has Chris banned anyone yet?
I feel my show is in a fallen state.
Oh, are we coming back?
So I was
Here we
just
go, we're back.
told that my engineer played the teaser from the Amber Rose upcoming episode of the Fallen
Yes.
State, but he didn't have the
Isn't that, like,
volume on.
amazing?
Isn't that like amazing?
Isn't that amazing?
Black.
Beyonce!
Oh, here's that teaser. I got to play it for you. I want you to hear this.
That was great, though. He's like, I'm joking.
He's done it again! He's done it again!
Oh my god, that engineer is so getting fired.
Damn
The
blacks.
volume
I
keeps
put in
coming
the
back
chat.
too early and too late. It breaks.
Chimping out the control room.
Yeah, it.
Damn blacks.
Is
you.
it like a 3-year-old? Yeah, like I said, I thought they'd be talking about race stuff. They kind of went into it a bit, but I don't think they're. Since they both mostly agree on it, it seems like it's not really an interesting conversation.
So that's coming up
Here we
this
go.
Thursday. I didn't know that the volume wasn't playing.
He's like, "Are you serious?
That's amazing!
Is that you?"
That's not you?
Amazing.
We have to get that straightened out. And
Nasty,
we,
yes. Yes, he is.
we will play that later. I'm sorry. They have some issues over there. So I want to go quickly back to Devin.
Oh,
Devin.
Here we go.
Okay,
Can we get Devin back?
I'm here.
All
There
right.
you go.
Okay, Devin.
Devin?
I'm here.
All right, buddy. So my two quick questions. I said one, but two.
Oh, we're getting two.
I noticed that atheist logical people.
Oh, come on.
People-
Stop with the atheism, man.
I mean, on that issue, I would say they are. It's no guarantee they're going to be logical in any other aspect of their life. It's not like they're superior human beings just, because they're an atheist. But yeah, in general, you could say they're logical.
I often wonder, why do they support homosexuality? I've noticed that most, and I won't say all, not all.
No, not all,
But most
not all.
people support homosexuality.
Where'd he get that?
Do you support that?
Well, I'm not sure how to support it. It sounds a little bit gay to support homosexuality, but yeah, I support the fact that there are gays and like they have every
Do
right
you
to
think
be gay.
that that's normal?
Not statistically, no.
So you personally know that it's not normal?
is not normal for me, I know it's normal for them.
But is it
I don't think it
normal to
matters.
be?
That's the point.
In your personal opinion, is it normal to be a lesbian or homosexual?
No, it is statistically abnormal, I would say, but it is biologically predictable. This is not.
Devin's so good with
It doesn't just
language.
happen.
Yeah.
There are gay frogs, aren't there?
Let me ask you, is it logical to be a homosexual?
Logic and sexuality have nothing to do with each other, but it's not logical if your goal is to reproduce. You could say that.
Amazing. And so my final question. What do you think of the great
there
white
it is.
hope? He's been there for a year, some months now, the president. The great white hope.
Well,
what's your impression of him today?
Like any sane person, I detest the man and can't wait for his demise. But
and why
I
is
find
that?
it interesting.
Preach
well,
it,
he's just
Devin.
an awful,
Preach it.
Buffoon who
Down
is
with
an
Trump.
ignorant ass, has no political experience, and he's just a bull in a china shop.
So you're one of those guys
Exactly,
who hate
Devin.
masculinity.
You're one of those guys who hates masculinity. Oh, wow.
All the way.
Jesse.
He's no beast golfer. He's not masculine.
All the way.
But you realize why? It's very funny that you call him the Great White Hope. You know what that comes from, right?
No, for me, I see him as being great. He's not afraid. If his enemies attack, he attack back. He put the country first. He is the first president in a long time who showed love for black people by making them work. I know that it came from a boxing movie, but I call him the Great White Hope because he is great for this country.
Yes, but it's not just a boxing movie. It's a boxing movie where there was a heavyweight champion who was black for the first time, and the nation was looking for a great white hope to beat this black man up because they weren't comfortable having a black champ. So,
well, in the good old days when boys were boys and men were men, black people were great people. They were moral people. They got married. They didn't blame the white man. They took responsibility. So, but I called President Trump great because the Great White Hope because he is white, and he loved the country.
He is white.
He loved people.
He is
loved
white.
his right. So, and he did the right thing.
He loves people.
that is
He did it.
amazing. But
Devin did it back. He said it's
trends.
amazing.
I recognize the trends in that you're saying there were more great
I'm a
black
little
men in the past.
surprised that you don't like President Trump. You seem like the type of guy that would appreciate masculinity.
Yeah, but those aren't
And
traits
I
for
realize a lot of beta males don't like
Exactly.
masculinity because they think and feel like women. But you should appreciate masculinity when you see it, especially coming from a white man, because most white men are afraid to stand up and be men.
But you don't elect a president based on masculinity. It's based on policies. And
Masculinity too. Look what happened when we had the girly man, Barack Obama.
The
He
girly.
said that his wife was his boss. He said that he was a first feminist president. He was a girly man, a beta male.
You think Barack was a beta male? That's a hot
All the way, girly.
Really?
He went around the country, around the world, bowing down to our enemies. He said, "Look, I'm here. Don't worry about it. I'm a feminist president. I'm not going to do anything." He was pro-homosexual, pro-transgender, pro-abortion, everything that liberal feminist women stand for.
No, but those are all good things to be.
Exactly,
Before I go, let me
Devin.
just tell you something.
They are all good
You
things
say
to be.
there's not as many great black men as there used to be?
Not at all.
Well,
They're girly men. They think like their mothers.
Okay, well, I'm
Whoa.
looking at one right now. I think you're a great man.
Well,
I
thank
want
you.
to say amazing. You say a lot of things are amazing, but let me tell you something. Your dedication to the truth, to bettering people's lives, to uniting the races, and to creating engaging content, that's amazing.
I'm going to have you back. I truly
Oh,
enjoyed
yeah, he
talking
said I'm
to
gonna
you.
have to have you back. I truly
You as
enjoyed
well, my
talking.
man.
All right,
Talk
God
later.
bless you, man. Thank you.
Final thoughts on it all then. And we've got Devin Tracy here.
How amazing was that interview?
Amazing.
Yeah, I like what Alfie said. It did break up his normal format, and
Yeah.
like Devin got to ask some questions, which was cool. And you saw him kind of pause because he had to think about what he was saying, and he went to breaks at weird spots. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
he
I
asked
think
a
it's a
question.
response. I think he has a new engineer or something, and that person's kind of messing it up. That's why he was.
He made a black joke. He's like, yeah, the new engineer's black. Sorry, you fucked up. He's black. And then he's like, I'm just kidding.
Just kidding. Yeah.
It was very interesting because, you know, you get this email from the producer and then they called me at 1 minute to the hour and I don't talk to them at all. It's just, here he is, Devin Tracy. And the first thing I say to him is him saying, you know, asking me about atheism. It was very weird to have to go over Atheism 1.0. crap.
Yeah, I was saying the same thing.
I thought I did a pretty good job of it, but
You did.
you know, it's all the standard shit. It's like, why do you not believe in God? Or, you know.
Yeah, you don't get caught out by the little like languages that he uses. So like he asked you a few questions that were a bit like he was trying to catch you out a bit, but, you know,
Yeah.
a bit.
Yeah, and it's almost
done
quaint. It's like, God, I've heard these a million times. I mean,
Yeah. And he did play
I
a little
think
he
towards-
was like you were talking about your stepmom, and he was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
your stepmom. It seems like your stepmom didn't have good values." And then he was like, "Is that why you don't have values?"
but
He
but he
called
does
your
that.
dad selfish tacitly, too.
He does this. I watched the Jacqueline Glenn interview he did, and he
Mhm.
goes after her upbringing and questions whether or not her parents were true Christians, and it's just an angle he takes, and he's just on
Mhm.
repeat cycle, I guess. So it was fun though. He's a cool cat, and he's an old school cat. And
Yeah.
I was looking through his archive of stuff. He's been with everybody. He's interviewed everybody.
Yeah, he gets
Like-
people.
I
don't know how he
mean,
does it all.
Richard Spencer, Jared Taylor. He's on the street. He's talking to guys. He's going out. I mean, yeah, it's pretty impressive. Like, where does he get the work ethic? My God. I guess maybe that picking cotton like does that for you. Makes you appreciate it. But I thought it was interesting because, you know, he says you disagree on a lot of stuff, and I tried to make the point, yeah, but we agree on a lot of stuff too, and I'm like a big fan of yours. So, you know, I disagree with all of you on a ton of stuff. It doesn't mean.
I think he didn't see the agreements until right at the end.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, this guy's actually on the same page with me on this.
Right. And yeah, it is strange. I mean, maybe his producer should have told him, like, I have a lot of conservative people follow me and religious. Because the things there's more than one thing to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to accept the fact that life is not about isolating yourself in a miniature little echo chamber where everybody agrees on every little thing. Maybe hang out with people who agree on the big points, on the big things, and then have disagreement, have diversity of thought. That's fine.
Well, it's also about entertainment. I mean, Jesse is hilarious. That's why we watch him, because he's entertaining. We're not learning anything from Jesse. I mean,
Yeah.
He's a performer, and he dresses up, and they're doing that show at 6 a.m. You know, look at him.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Fair play to him.
Yeah, it's a weird time to do it.
And he's not making huge money off it, I can't imagine. I mean, I'm sure he gets the bills paid and stuff. He's got advertisers and whatnot. But
He's got a crew.
He probably
He's
makes
hustle.
money from.
He
He
is-
probably makes money off the books and stuff like that.
Right, but he is a pimp. You know, he's doing it. So you got to respect that aspect, regardless of what he's
Yeah,
saying.
for sure.
absolutely.
Definitely.
He's very likable, too, actually.
He's not afraid. What I respect about him is he's not afraid to have guests that are completely opposed to his opinion. You know, like he doesn't nitpick his guests. You know, he'll take anyone.
For being anti-gay, I mean, that was so bizarre. Do you support homosexuality?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What a weird thing to say. Yeah, I support it. I didn't even know how to answer that, but he says these ridiculous questions where really the whole conversation should be, what on earth made you ask such a ridiculous question? Like, how do you even justify such a weird formulation of words? But he tries to like put you on the spot, like, here's a retarded question. Your thoughts? And it's like, oh God, I've got to make sense of that non-question. Okay.
Yeah. At one point, you were like, "I'm not really sure where you're going with this."
Yeah, but I was prepared for it because I had watched his stuff, and he is who he is. You don't change at that stage of life. You're gonna get the one thing that he does. You know, He doesn't have plan B. He's going with what he knows.
I like how you talked to him about gank too.
Gank.
Oh yeah, the fat
Yeah,
brown
he like that. He had a
buffalo.
big smile on his face when you're explaining how you busted him on that.
Yeah, and some of those conversations get to be real standardized, like the whole left versus right, Trump, Obama, atheist religion. It's not that unique. I mean, you could just put in anybody just to give the standard points from either side. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and he doesn't want to change his mind. He doesn't, it's not like I'm going to sit down and explain to him something in a way that's going to make him move the needle on his thoughts. So it's very strange. And he just wraps it up with a, that's amazing, amazing. You know, like
everything, no matter what you say.
Yeah, just that sarcastic.
It was funny how you chuckled every time he said it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's a little bit intimidating. I think the most pressure was just the fact that you all were going to watch and be like, oh, okay, here's our boy, don't let us down. Like,
and recording our reaction to it all as well.
Yeah, but you didn't. I mean, like,
you didn't let us down.
You
That's for
didn't
sure.
at
Not at
all. It
all.
was great.
It was amazing.
You're just very nice to talk to in general, so
Yeah.
it's very hard to be let down. So
well, that's cool. Yeah, I
And
mean,
you know all this stuff.
that is an art form, because this is, by the way, the point. They say, oh, don't debate people, debate them. I respect Jesse. That's why I was here. That's why I said yes to do this. And you could tell. But this is this goes without saying. If you talk to somebody, unless it's like you talking to, I don't know, a barista at Starbucks, like if you're actually in a personal, private conversation with somebody, there comes with it a certain amount of respect that both parties have to have. And if not, then it's not really a conversation. It's more like a snide bitch fest or a fight.
back to ponage culture.
Yeah.
Debate
And that's
me,
not
bro.
how it's not how normal life works. You know,
Yeah.
what you just saw was a guy from LA talking to an older guy from LA and being respectful to him based on the fact that I've seen his work, I admire what he does, and yeah, he's goofy, yeah, he's fucking backward on several issues, but he's not backward on a few others. And what does that have to do with me being respectful to an older guy?
Yeah.
Nothing.
From my city. It's just exactly. So
It's
that's how I
also like, how do you want to conduct yourself? How do you want people to see you? Like, you're going to go on there and be a complete dick to some guy who's invited you into their show? Probably
Exactly.
not. Like,
yeah, that's a good point, right? And so, yeah, it's just being civil. And look, it's like you help me, I help you. You're providing content for my show. I'm promoting you and letting my audience know about you. So, yeah, I thought it went well.
oh, it was very enjoyable, very fun.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very fun.
We had a lot of laughs here.
Oh yeah.
I loved how every time he said "that's amazing," you would give a little chuckle, sort of like it was brilliant.
He had a new term today. That's Mamma Mia interesting.
Your Mamma Mia. Yeah, we laughed on that one for a while.
I like how he played me out with, "You are my lady. You're everything I need."
Just to drive in the gay point a little more.
Yeah. I thought I don't know. It didn't stump him, but sort of shocked him with my answer to is being gay normal, and I'm like, not statistically, no, because he's playing with words.
Yes.
Normal. He's trying to say, should it be the way of everybody? I'm like, no.
He means moral. He's trying to say, is it moral?
Yeah, he's trying to say, is it justified, or is it like, should we be against it? I'm like, look, it's everywhere. It's in the animal kingdom. It's been with humanity for the longest time. It doesn't hurt anybody. They're not lying. They're not. This is who they are. Well, let them be. What's the big deal? You know. And this ties in, by the way. It isn't a big deal for anybody unless you believe the Old Testament and all the crap of religion, and you're taught that these people are going to go to hell because they're abominations and shit. If you don't have that belief, there's no reason to have any ill will towards a gay person. None. In fact, it should be the other way around. It's like, breeders are the ones that are going to be populating the earth with their grubby little snot-nosed kids. The gays are a self-solving problem if you view them as a problem. They don't reproduce. I'm not trying to make you gay.
Mm-hmm. Whoa.
Didn't I hear? There was something. I remember somebody said that once. It was the stupidest thing ever. They wanted to put all the gay people in. Yeah, put them in an enclosed pen, like isolate all the gays and let them die out.
What?
And they thought.
Yeah, I remember something like that.
Yeah, and they
John
said.
Hagee said.
Yeah, and they go, and
there you go.
The logic was they don't reproduce, so they can't have kids, so they'll just die out and we'll be done with the gays. Not understanding that gay people are born out of heterosexual unions.
Yeah, in fact, it's better to normalize it, because when you don't normalize it, they hide it and have kids with wives and stuff, because they're trying to hide that they're gay.
Yeah, evolutionarily, it's probably better just to let them be.
Yeah, let them do what they're gonna do.
Yeah. He went in on your parents quite a bit, didn't he?
It's his strategy, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not personal, but
Yeah.
He's looking for some psychological flaw. Like, so what happened to you? What you are a broken man here.
Yeah. Basically, your stepmom was a bad Christian, so now you're atheist.
And back to your stepmom now. What is going on with that? I haven't talked about my stepmom that much since forever.
Yeah, you're like, it's really not a big deal. You're looking too far into it.
I know. But, it's weird. Once, because I've sort of, I don't want to say figured him out, but I know his tendencies and his patterns, none of this took me off guard. So I was prepared to answer all of his lines of questioning. So a little be prepared, a little preparation, I think served me well.
He's a funny guy.
Sorry, guys. My engineer is black.
That was funny. And he was like, no, I'm just kidding.
Oh. Mike Pierce was here, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, he was watching.
I had a conversation in front of Mike Pierce. How do you like that?
Oh, I bet Aimee likes it.
Oh my God, he was talking at me a lot.
So before you start going on to another conversation, I'm gonna wrap this up. So
All right.
finish this. Unless there's anything else you want to end this video with.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Mamma mia, interesting.
It's very fun.
It was amazing.
Thanks for the support, guys.
Hey everybody, don't forget to check out my GoFundMe. It's at GoFundMe and it's called Aimee and Chill. And at the same time, throw over some shekels to the War Kettle at his Patreon. And don't forget to check out his Teespring store. Get yourself a degenerate behavior hoodie, mate. Thanks a lot. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.